Hi guys, in this episode I'm going to talk about the Wahed investment app. So yeah, let's get started. So Wahed is an app for halal investment with its headquarters in New York and branches in the UK and here in Malaysia. So from my understanding, it should be regulated in these three countries, but I think it's also available in several other countries as well. It has several asset classes such as paper gold, shares, REITs, and the money market fund for its portfolio composition. And I think this is specifically true for Malaysia, and it might be a bit different in other countries, but I think its ETF of the United States shares should be available in all countries. Anyway, one of my point of contention with the app is when I started in around July this year, I was not able to choose my own portfolio, and instead I have to answer their set of questionnaires, and then the app would create a portfolio based on my investment appetite, and I'm not really a fan of that because I would like to know where exactly my money is going. But I can see now that I can tweak my portfolio, but it did take me some time to figure that out. So let me know if you want me to make a video on that. Anyway, I'm an aggressive investor, so my portfolio is made up of entirely of the US shares, and they have an ETF for that. ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund, so it's like a mutual fund, but you can also buy it from the open stocks exchange. So for Wahed, the ETF is called Wahed FTSE USA Shariah ETF, and the ticker is composed of the alphabet HLAL. Is allegedly the first Islamic ETF that provided passive index tracking exposure to the US equities. So I really like that because it's made up of a basket of shares, and even though shares can be a high risk assets, but they could give you higher returns compared to other asset classes. And I'm usually aiming for more than 10% returns on my investment. Anyway, if you are a moderate or a conservative investor, then I'm guessing your portfolio would have less exposure to the equities and more exposure to paper gold and money market. I don't think they have sukuk yet. Sukuk is similar to bond in the conventional financial market, so that could be one of the things that they need to work on to improve the composition of the portfolio available on Wahed. So here's the fact sheet on the Wahed FTSE USA Shariah ETF. So you can see here that the expense ratio is 0.50%. I'm guessing that's the management fee, so that's quite low, so that's great. And here's the return for the past 1 year, so that's about 30% for the past 1 year, so that's great as well. And here's the composition of the shares, so it's made up of Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, Meta Platform, Tesla, Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble. So all these shares are Sharia compliant, but they could have a conflict with the BDS movement, the Boycott, Divest and Sanction movement for Palestine. So that's something that you have to keep in mind. The other point of contention that I had is the way they calculate their return. So I've put 100 ringgit twice, and not all the money was invested. I think mine just came up to 98 ringgit. So I'm not too sure what happened to the other 2 ringgit. It could be lost in currency exchange or other fees. So that was not really transparent to me. And then they calculate the return based on the 98 ringgit instead of the 100 ringgit. So they don't count the 2 ringgit as a loss, even though that's already a 2% loss to me. And to me, that's already quite a significant number. So I think I made my deposit in March and June of 100 ringgit each. So currently, according to their calculation, my investment has grown by 16.76%. But if I did my own calculation, my investment has just grown by 19 ringgit 39 cents. So let me just calculate that. So by my own calculation, that will be just 9.695%. But I think their calculation took into account the time when you deposit your investment, and if you made several different investment over time, I think their calculation should be more accurate. But even with 9.6% increment, I think that's quite close to my aim of having 10% increment in my investment. For the fees, if you have more than one portfolio in your Wahed account, the charge will be a minimum monthly fee of RM2.50 or an annual fee of 0.39 to 0.79%, whichever is higher. And the minimum monthly fee of RM2.50 doesn't apply if you have only one portfolio in your Wahed account. So it's best for you to have just one portfolio if you have a small account, so that you'll be charged the annual fee of 0.39% to 0.79%. So for the account valued at 100 ringgit to 500,000 ringgit, the annual fee will be 0.79%. And if it is more than 500 ringgit, then the annual fee will be 0.39%. I guess the fee is quite reasonable, considering that if you subscribe to a unit trust fund, the annual management fee will be around 1.6 to 1.8% of the amount of your portfolio. Alright guys, so that's my review of the Wahed investment app. It's quite a good app with a good return, and I'll leave my link in the description box down below in case if you guys want to join in. But like I said, there's a few shares in the ETF that could be in conflict with the list provided by the BDS movement. So personally, I would take out my investment. I've written to them asking for clarification, and I have not yet received an answer. So until I get a satisfactory answer, then I wouldn't deposit any more fund into my investment, even though that the return is quite attractive and it is also convenient to cash in, and I think it's also going to be convenient too to cash out. Alright guys, that's all for this episode of my vlog. Don't forget to like, to comment and to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.